Welcome to the Point of View. I'm your host, Mike D, aka DDE80, aka 13th Wonder of the World, aka Mike DZ. How y'all doing on this Saturday, man? It is July the 12th at 8:28 p.m. here, a.m., here in the dirty South. Shout out to the Point Place family. Shout out to Bobby Reezy, M Breezy, Naya, my sister. I love all y'all. Thank y'all for listening to the Point of View. I'm sorry that I have not been on. I was mentally fried. I was physically fried, and I just needed a rest. I'm sorry, B. I wasn't able to be on here most of last week, but despite the 4th of July break, I was still able to get myself together, and now I'm back. My batteries have been recharged again, so now I'm back about some things. So here I am, and now I want to talk about this amazing weekend of wrestling, folks. We've got a lot of stuff going on this week, especially today. We've got, of course, the WNBA sports, Major League Baseball sports. Not only that, but before I get into the wrestling, I just want to say congratulations to Angel Reese. Angel Reese is going to be a cover for NBA, WNBA, NBA 2K26 comes out, which will be probably out in about the next 3 months, because usually the NBA games, when they do bring them out, they do come out in September. So you guys be on the lookout for that. I don't know if they're going to be on PS4 this year. If that's the case, then I'm going to have to go ahead and get me a 5. And I know a lot of people not, D, man, you still messing with a 4? Yeah, I still rock with a 4, man. But I'm either going to get me a 5 or Xbox S, one of the two. I'm going to get me one real soon. I'm trying to get me some more furniture, ladies and gentlemen, so I can, when I do start doing my point of view on video, I want everybody to just see me sitting comfortable on my couch doing the point of view. But anyway, here's what's happening. Here's what's cracking today in the point of view. I will be talking about the matches for the AEW pay-per-view, as well as the NXT pay-per-view today, as well as Saturday night's main events. I will talk about the Evolution pay-per-view tomorrow. Also, I will be talking about what is going on with LeBron and the Lakers. There is a possibility that this might be his last contract in LA. And if that's the case, where does he go? And it's crazy because there's a lot of spots that could use LeBron, but we'll see what happens. And also, where's Chris Paul going to go in this last season? And I just want to tell everybody, God bless you, God keep you. Thank you for the ones that do listen to the point of view on YouTube. I appreciate you very much. Yeah, I know it's not a lot, but it's the very few. I'm still trying to make this thing get bigger and bigger, but I got to do my part and start back constantly getting back on this thing, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let me talk about the WWE pay-per-view. But first of all, I want to get into last night. The Wyatt Six has became the WWE Tag Team Champions. Last night, they beat the Street Profits. Now, me and Fadeaway, and shout out to Fadeaway, rest in peace to his niece, who was a friend of mine who passed last week. And they're doing the funeral arrangements and things for today. I'm hoping everything go good. I'm not going to be able to make it. I might be able to go to the wake to view the body, but I don't think I'm going to be able to go to the funeral. Anywho, me and Fadeaway was talking. Shout out to Fadeaway still. And he said something that made a lot of sense. He said, man, just like they just pulled the plug. And I said this about a month ago. I said the New Day and the Street Profits were not going to be the tag team champions by the time SummerSlam came around. And bingo, I was absolutely positively right. Because when the New Day lost 2 weeks ago, I told Fadeaway, I texted him and I told him, I say, Fade, this is what's going to happen, bro. I say, how long you going to think before it is that they take the belts off of the Street Profits? And that's exactly what happened. The Street Profits are no longer the WWE Tag Team Champions. The New Day are no longer the World Tag Team Champions. Again, I'm starting to believe what MVP said about the black wrestlers in WWE, especially on the main roster. Now, let me say this. Do I think Jey Uso could be the champion again? Absolutely. But I'll tell you what's going to happen. If he does be the champion, he's not going to be champion long again. They don't value him as a champion. They value him as a person that's just getting over from merchandise. That's why they keep him into a semi-main event push. But look at what they did to him last week. They now bumped him from being one of the top main event stars all the way back down to mid-card, where he's going up against Bronson Reed. That's crazy. They've bumped him back to mid-card because they don't see the value in him. They had no choice but to put the title on him because they saw he was getting over. And because of that, that's why they took the title off him. That's why they took the Intercontinental title off of him, because they did not see value in him. And I'm going to tell you something that's crazy, and then I'm going to go back to the Street Profits. When they took the titles off of Jey Uso, the Intercontinental title, last year, the first thing I said to them, they're priming Braun Breaker up to be one of the hottest commodities in the business. His jets has been cooled since WrestleMania. They're keeping him around Seth Rollins because they want him to get the rub off Seth Rollins to be a major star, which he's already is on the main roster. But we'll see what happens with that, because it looks like they're trying to set it up to where Braun Breaker is probably going to end up fighting Seth Rollins. Here or there. The Street Profits had a 2-3 month reign as champions, and they lost. Like it always happens with these black tag teams and these black wrestlers. You're not going to have a long reign as champion in WWE unless your name is Roman Reigns. That's just the bottom line of it. I'm just telling you what I know. Obafemi has been absolutely phenomenal in NXT. Trick Williams has been absolutely phenomenal in NXT/TNA. Those boys have had some nice reigns as champions there. But when they get to the main roster, are they going to be built up to be a long-time champion? The answer to that is no. I will give Tony Khan one great accomplishment that he's done in Ring of Honor. And he had 2 black women as their champions. Red Velvet ended up getting injured, so Red Velvet is no longer, she's the Ring of Honor Women's Television Champion, but she's injured. And I think she's had that belt for a little bit now. But Athena has been the Ring of Honor World Champion for at least 2 or 3 years now. Let me say that. I think 2.5 years. Athena has been the champion, the Ring of Honor champion over there. Nobody's touched her. I don't think Thunder Rosa beat her last night or tonight, whenever they had a pay-per-view. I think it was last night, and I don't think Thunder Rosa beat her. But that is what I'm talking about. Other companies are doing it. WWE's not doing it when it comes down to the main roster. Think about all the black champions they've had. And look how long they had the title till they took it off. Booker T was the world heavyweight champion. They took the belt off Booker T within what, 2-3 months? He lost that Survivor Series '06, but they let him become the champion of champions before they did that. Here's another thing. Let me talk about something else. Big E didn't have the championship, but 2 months? Took the belt off of him, lost a 4-way match to Brock Lesnar. Bobby Lashley had a nice little run with the title, but the second time he won the title, he lost in the month to Brock Lesnar, even though he didn't even get pinned. It's crazy, man. Kofi Kingston had it at WrestleMania, and he lost it the night that the night that they had the season opener of SmackDown on Fox. It's crazy, man. I'm just telling you guys what is happening, man, when it comes down to these black wrestlers getting mainstream titles. It's not happening. If it happens, it's not going to be too long. And they've done it to Jey Uso twice. But the Y6 are the tag team champions. R-Truth's back, but they made Aleister Black a heel. We saw some great action with the women's tag team chemistry they had. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, they are the favorites to win the tag team titles, but I don't think they're going to win. I think they're going to lose. I'm looking at they're coming in, bringing Jelly Roll in to be Randy Orton's partner. Jelly Roll will be a part of Saturday night's main event tonight, but it's going to be bigger than that. They're setting Jelly Roll up to go up against Logan Paul at SummerSlam. So we will see Jelly Roll teaming up with Randy Orton against Logan Paul and probably Drew McIntyre. We're probably going to see that match happen at SummerSlam because SummerSlam is only 3 weeks away, folks. And it is going to be a 2-night pay-per-view. You're going to watch it that Saturday as well as that Sunday as well. So you get to watch both of those pay-per-views that night. Very interesting. John Cena and Cody Rhodes will be back on SmackDown. Solo goes up against Jimmy Uso tonight on Saturday night's main event. I'll tell you like this here. I do believe that Solo will probably win because he has all the artillery with him. And Jim's not going to be able to handle that. LA Knight versus Seth Rollins. I would not mind seeing LA Knight get a big, huge victory over Seth Rollins tonight. That's what I would love to see. Probably not going to happen. As well as we're going to see Goldberg versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. I don't know. This is a toss-up to me. But I do believe that Gunther's going to win the match. I think Goldberg retires tonight. If Goldberg wins the title tonight, then there's no doubt about it. He will not leave out of Atlanta, Georgia with that title because Seth Rollins is going to cash in. Believe what I'm telling you guys tonight. Unless they pull a fast one on me, Seth Rollins is going to try to cash in tonight on either Gunther or Goldberg. One of the two. I'm just telling you. If Goldberg wins that title tonight, Goldberg is not leaving out of Atlanta as the World Heavyweight Champion. That's what I would do if I was booking. That's exactly what I would do. Not only that, but ladies and gentlemen, also tonight, what's the other match they got on there tonight? Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, Solo versus Jimmy Uso, Goldberg and Gunther and LA. I think only that's all I see is 4 matches. I think that's 4 matches for the night. But yeah, that's one pay-per-view, one event tonight that takes place. To tonight on Peacock as well as NBC. But let's talk about later on today. Then I'll talk about AEW. AEW's pay-per-view this weekend. And then tomorrow I will talk about the Women's Evolution pay-per-view as well. Now, NXT has a pay-per-view as well today. It's called NXT Battleground. Will this be the night that Jordynne Grace wins? Tomorrow night, Jordynne Grace has an opportunity to beat Jacy Jayne for the NXT Women's title. Here's my deal on that. Let me say this. If Jordynne Grace does not win that title tomorrow, it's time for her to go to the main roster. There's no need for her to keep chasing for that title, chasing, and she's not winning. That's just the whole bottom line of that, folks. But tonight, Fatal Influence, which is probably going to be Fallon Henley and Jacy Jayne, the NXT Women's Champion, against Blake Monroe, a.k.a. Mariah May, and Jordynne Grace in the tag match. That's going to be interesting to see how that takes place tonight. I do believe that Fatal Influence will probably win that match tonight because, like I told everybody, like me and Faith's been talking about, the AEW stars are getting they're getting jobs before they even they're going to take a licking before they build them back up to what they are. You saw it with Aleister Black. You saw it the first night Mariah May, aka Blake Monroe, was on NXT. You see it happening with all of them. So except Rusev, because Rusev hasn't lost yet. But that's my thoughts on that. Ethan Page versus Ricky Saints. Ladies and gentlemen, if Ricky Saints does not win the title tonight, they need to try to figure out a way to get him on the main roster. He does not need to be on the NXT roster, and he's not winning the NXT championship or the North American title. I think Ethan Page should lose tonight. I think he's another one should be considered main roster material. That's just my thoughts. Izzy Dane versus Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka will be on the Evolution pay-per-view tomorrow. Sol Ruka had a great showing last night on SmackDown on the main roster. Sol Ruka will be defending the women's North American title against Izzy Dane. I think Sol Ruka wins because Sol Ruka is also the speed champion, the women's speed champion as well. And we'll see what happens with her. They see potential in her. So we'll see what happens with that as well. I think Sol Ruka wins tonight. And of course, Obafemi versus Endemore. I don't think Obafemi loses tonight. I think Obafemi wins. But if Endemore wins tonight, it'll be a shock. If he loses, where he goes? Where does Obafemi go if he loses? Oh, and by the way, I do think this match is going to take place tonight. There's supposed to be a triple threat, I think, for the Heritage Cup title, if I'm not mistaken, or that's next week. But I know there's a feature match coming up between the whole D'Angelo family, Stacks versus Luca versus Tony D. I think that match is going to take place either tonight or it's going to take place this Tuesday on NXT. I can't remember. I know the Heritage Cup is on the line, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that one. I want to be factual about what I say. So that's one thing there as well. But the NXT pay-per-view is on today, as well as later on tonight, Saturday night's main event. Let's switch competition. And let's get into AEW's pay-per-view for tomorrow, because AEW's pay-per-view is coming on tomorrow as well, All In. I think it's tonight or tomorrow. I can't remember. But we'll figure that out as well. Because we also got big matches going forth at that pay-per-view as well. And starts off with, of course, the world title. Jon Moxley versus Hangman Page. I'm hoping that Hangman Page wins the title tonight because John Moxley has been champion for a while now. And in his fourth reign as the AEW champion, he has been tremendously good, even though he's been a heel. But the thing about it is, what happens if the Death Riders lose tonight? Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. Nothing. Because guess what's going to happen? John Moxley's going to be just out there trying to intimidate people. He's not going to be fighting for any titles. He's going to be more dangerous if he loses the title tonight or tomorrow to Hangman Page, which I think Hangman Page will win the title at this All-In pay-per-view. That's just my thoughts. Let's talk about Mercedes Moné for Toni Storm. Mercedes Moné, there's a possibility that she will have 5 belts before this is over. I do believe because she won the Owen Hart Cup, I do believe that Mercedes Moné will possibly become the AEW Women's Champion. Because if Toni Storm lose, I don't think they're not gonna make it where Toni's not gonna be great. They're gonna have to figure out what to do, because she's going to have to, either two things are gonna happen with the TBS title. They're gonna either strip it from her or she's gonna get pinned with the title. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm. That's going to be a great match. Winner takes all. Okada versus Kenny Omega. The Continental Championship versus the International title. Winner takes all. Somebody's going to be a double champion tonight with that match. Here's my thoughts on that. Who do you go with more? Do you go with Kenny Omega or do you go with Okada? Kenny Omega could fit the bill for this, but I think if I'm smart booking, I go with Okada. Because you broke the bank to get Okada in AEW. So that's what happens. I think Okada wins that match. And I think he has all the titles. Also, tag team title match. And then I'll get to the TNT title match. Tag team title match. The champions Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, Hurt Syndicate will go up against Christian Cage and the Ring of Honor Pure Champion Nick Young versus Speedball Mike Bailey and what's the other guy named? Kenny? What? That's his name, right? The Jet Speed team. I believe that the Hurt Syndicate wins. I think Christian Cage and Nick Wayne are going to be built up for something else, for their other title that they're supposed to be coming out with in the future, which I think will probably happen before the end of this year. I could be wrong, but I think the Hurt Syndicate wins the match tonight. The TNT title, Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher. I think Kyle Fletcher probably will win this match over Adam Cole tonight because they're grooming him for something big. Now, if he loses, then he just loses. But I do believe that this could be Kyle Fletcher's night to win the title. This would be a great, good accomplishment for him if it happens. Which I don't want to happen because I want Adam Cole to have a great burn with the title. Also, the gauntlet match. A lot of guys are going to be in that match. We're going to see MJF and, of course, Mark Briscoe start off. I don't know who's going to win that. My guess could be MJF. If MJF wins, he will be the #1 contender for the title. If Mark Briscoe wins, he's going to be the #1 contender for the title. I don't know who's going to be in there. You may see some returns tonight as well. The women's gauntlet match, I don't know who's going to win that neither. I really don't know. I know Statlander going to be #1. So who's gonna go up against Mercedes Moné or Toni Storm if they win that gauntlet match? Who knows? That's a toss-up. Also, I don't know if this match is gonna happen, but it's a proposed match between the Ops and the Death Riders. Interesting to see who's gonna be in that match. It's interesting to see who's gonna fight in that match. It's gonna be interesting to see who does what in that match. It's going to be interesting all around because AEW is going to put on their biggest card tomorrow. That's just the way I see it. That's just the way they're gonna put all their eggs in one big basket and try to make it happen. It's just that simple, you know. And they got some great matches here. We'll find out who does what tomorrow. And then tomorrow I will go over the Evolution Women's Pay-Per-View, which will be Evolution 2. Great matches on there. I'll go down the line with them. Could this be Trish Stratus winning championship number 8? Does Rhea Ripley beat Io Sky finally? What's going to happen between Jade and Naomi? Who's going to win the NXT Women's title? Who's gonna win the women's tag team titles? It's gonna be interesting. There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on tomorrow with the women's pay-per-view as well as the AEW pay-per-view. Now, switching gears, and I have not been really talking about basketball, the NBA, but I'm gonna start talking about a little piece by piece. And the first person I want to talk about is what's going on with the Lakers and LeBron. The Lakers have made it official in my book that this will be LeBron James' last year with the Lakers. Whether he retires this season or not, this is his last season with the Lakers. They say he has not talked to DeAndre Ayton yet. I think LeBron will talk to DeAndre Ayton. I think what LeBron is doing is trying to get everything situated before he actually has a conversation with him to see where the Lakers' head is at. This is the thing. AR-15 will possibly leave the Lakers after this season coming up. There's a possibility. LeBron James is going to be leaving LA. There's teams saying that they will get him on a buyout. They will get LeBron for a minimum, which makes a lot of sense because he doesn't need all that money anymore. He's already a billionaire. If he wants to play to win a championship, then besides the Lakers, I would go to Cleveland. I'll go home. Because I know Mitchell, LaMelo Ball, and Mobley and Jarrett Allen and Garland and all those boys, they would help LeBron get his 5th championship. Because he already told the Lakers this. He says, listen, all I want to do is I want you guys to get some guys out here that want to compete for a championship. I heard what Gil and them said on Gil Arena, say he's giving up on ring chasing. I don't think LeBron is giving up on ring chasing. I think LeBron wants to win one more championship to tie Kobe. And I think he can do it. I don't know if they're going to do it this year. I'm rooting for the Lakers. I'm hoping that LeBron and them can do some things. LeBron can take a step back this year. LeBron can average 18 points a game if he wants to. It's just going to be interesting to see what they do, how they do it, and when they do it. There was rumors talking about that the Mavs wanted to get him on a buyout. I'll tell you what. Let me say this about buyouts. If I'm the Los Angeles Lakers, guess what I'm doing? I'm calling Dame Lillard. And I'm asking Dame Lillard, would you come play with Luka for a buyout? He's not going to play this year. He's out this year. There's a lot of guys that are going to be out. Murray's going to be out this year for the Pelicans. Halliburton's going to be out for the Pacers. Tatum's out this year. So we'll see what happens. Man, but if I'm them, if I'm the Lakers, I'm trying to get Dame there. I would love to see, listen to me, guys. I would love to see LeBron go back to Cleveland and finish his career in the Cavalier uniform for the third and final time, to let everybody know that this is where I want to finish my career. As much as I love LA, I want to finish my career here in Cleveland. And could he give the Cavaliers their second championship? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's just the gist of the whole issue. Just the gist of it, man. You know. But that's enough for LeBron talk for right now. Let's switch gears. Let's talk about CP3. I think Chris Paul is one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game of basketball. He wants to, from what I've heard, he either going to sign with the Clippers or the Lakers. If he goes to the Lakers, he's going to come off the bench. He's going to put up at least 4 or 5 assists while he's out there. He's going to get at least 7 or 8 points. He's going to do what he can to help the Lakers and build them up. Same way with the Clippers. If he goes to the Clippers, he's going to come off the bench. Chris Paul had one of the most durable seasons last year with the Spurs. He played in all 82 games. Even though Wemby and Fox was injured, CP3 still went out there and played. Let me tell y'all something. Chris Paul has been injury prone, for a while in his career. For him to go out there and do what he did last year was absolutely phenomenal at 40 years old. He played all 82 games. Absolutely great. Great of him. He was healthy. Can he be healthy again? Who knows? Maybe this is the year that the Milwaukee Bucks could use him. The Orlando Magic could use him. But he wants to go to one of the LA teams because he got a son that's playing college ball, high school ball, or something. And so CP3 is going to make a decision on what team he goes to. Hopefully, if he comes to the Lakers, he'll finally get that chance to rock the purple and gold, even though the NBA blocked him from going there a couple of years back when Kobe was in the league at the time. If they would have made that trade go through with Chris Paul playing with Kobe, the Lakers would have won a championship. Chris Paul would have been NBA champion by now, but they didn't do it. I don't understand why they didn't do it, but they did do it. The NBA rescinded the trade because New Orleans was owned by the NBA. That's crazy. That's crazy. But, it is what it is. CP3 is one of the greatest point guards in the NBA history. He's a Olympic, in my book, he's an Olympic legend. He's won 2 gold medals. He has the record for steals. I think he's assists as well. I think he's up there with John Stockton, the Magic, one of them. But he's gonna be sorely missed as well when he decides to hang it up as well. He's gonna hang it up somewhere. I'm hoping that OKC, if he wants to go back to OKC, he can win a championship there. They have a chance to win the championship because he doesn't have to do too much for them. We'll see what happens with CP3 as he makes his decision to decide where he's going to sign. All right, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to let you guys enjoy your day. Enjoy your day of WWE. Enjoy your day of NXT. Enjoy Major League Baseball, WNBA action. Enjoy it all. I've been on here. This is Mike D, and this has been your point of view. God bless you. God keep you. I love all y'all. Talk to y'all later.